So we are now being warned of system-wide stress. This is what we've been told for many months, that the financial industry is going to be hit hard. People are going to suffer and banks will close. Well, we have another warning from another central bank, and I want to address where this is coming from, because as of right now, this is a massive warning. So I'm going to break all this down in just a moment, but all I ask is one thing. It takes 2 seconds. Go ahead, hit that like button if you enjoy these daily updates, and now let's begin. So why now? Why are we just now starting to see the warnings where central banks are coming out and warning us of all these different risks that they are seeing? Well, it's because of multiple reasons. They have been waiting for many months to warn the people because they don't want people to panic. But look at this. This is Bank of Canada governor warns of a sharp correction and risks in markets and system-wide stress. Okay, that's troubling. And here's the reason why this is troubling. Canada is just the latest to come out and say that we could see system-wide stress. The Federal Reserve here in the United States has already come out and said this for many months. They've been talking about this for almost a year, where banks are going to feel the pressure. Banks are going to struggle and eventually collapse. Here's what I can tell you. Commercial real estate mortgages are the thing that is going to bring down many banks. Some experts believe that we are going to see about 30 banks collapse between now and the end of 2024. It's about 33 weeks away. So we are going to experience about one banking failure every single week. That's a huge problem. But here's the reason why this is getting to be even bigger. Based off of what we heard initially in the beginning of the year, was that commercial real estate, commercial office buildings, that was what was going to take down the banking industry. That's what was going to cause banks to collapse. But while everybody was talking about commercial office buildings and vacant buildings, by the way, nobody was talking about hotels. Nobody was talking about warehouses and distribution centers. They weren't talking about that. But now they are. They're talking about those and large retail stores that these businesses cannot afford anymore. And once they can't afford these and they just give them back to the bank, guess what? The bank doesn't want them. And right now, banks are unloading these properties for pennies on the dollar. But I want you to hear what the governor from the Bank of Canada has to say. Just listen to this. And again, we'll break this up, we'll talk about, but it's a very interesting time.
What are the key messages from today's financial stability report? Well, the first message is that Canada's financial system remains resilient.
Here's the thing. Canada's financial system may remain resilient, but it does not mean the people of Canada are not going to feel the effects. It does not mean businesses are going to struggle. It just means that their financial system is resilient. That's it. Doesn't mean it doesn't have any stress.
Over the past year, households, businesses, banks, and other financial institutions have taken proactive steps to adjust to higher interest rates and weather economic shocks.
I want to stop it right there again. The reason why businesses and individuals had to go and take proactive steps to weather this storm is because they had no other choice. Credit card rates are high, interest rates are high, expenses are high, right? Wages in some cases are barely going up, not keeping up with inflation. So yes, people had to weather the storm. It's not like we had another choice.
The second message is that this adjustment still has some ways to go and continues to present risks to financial stability. I'll offer some context around this assessment, and then the Senior Deputy Governor will touch on the risks in different sectors. Over the past year, the risk of recession has diminished in Canada and globally. Inflation in most countries has come down, and inflation targets are in sight. However, there could be volatility in markets as expectations shift about when and by how much central banks will lower their policy rates. and there continue to be important geopolitical and economic risks on the horizon. Against this backdrop, households and businesses continue to adjust to past interest rate increases. Some indicators of financial stress have risen. At the same time, the valuations of some financial assets appear to have become stretched. This could increase the risk of a sharp correction that could generate system-wide stress.
So, that all this stuff could lead to a system-wide or a massive correction and lead to system-wide stress. That is just the beginning. When the system becomes stressed, the financial system. What about when the people become stressed? What about when businesses become stressed? What about when this thing spreads? This is the Bank of Canada governor speaking. We already heard from the chairman of the Federal Reserve, Jerome Powell. We heard from him a couple weeks ago. And he said that regional banks will fail. Regional banks will collapse. We expect this. We know it's going to happen. But why? Why and what can we do about this? Well, here's all that's going to happen. I just want to be very clear on this. These financial stability reports keep coming out from different central banks, and we look at these and we're wondering, well, okay, what is the central bank doing? What is the federal government going to do to prevent a system-wide collapse? Well, all they're going to do is prepare. This is what I've been telling you guys for some time, is don't just look at all the news stories and the people spreading these rumors saying, oh, this could happen, that could happen. Of course, these different things could happen. We could see a massive financial collapse. But as long as you are prepared, as long as you are, have been, observing what's going on and keeping your money safe, you should be fine. As long as you've been diversifying your money, it's not all sitting in one regional bank. Maybe you have money in a few different regional banks, a couple of the bigger banks, Wells Fargo, Bank of America, Chase, right? You keep your money in some of those, you should probably do okay. But here's what I can tell you. The system-wide stress and these warnings from these central banks, this is just the beginning. Okay, I wish I could tell you things are going to be perfect. Your money is safe. Businesses will not go under. People will not be homeless. Certain people will not go without food. But that's not the case. This is life. This is the way things work. Some people are going to have a lot of money. They can do whatever they want with it. They can buy real estate and they can go on vacations and they can have cosmetic surgeries. Other people are just going to struggle to put a roof over their head and keep food on their table. So, I want to play you the last about 20 seconds of this. I'm not going to play this entire financial stability report because some of this is in French, but let's listen to about 20 more seconds.
The recent rise in the use of leverage in non-bank financial institutions could amplify the effects of such a correction. What's most important is that to properly manage risks, financial system participants need to remain proactive.
So that's it. They need to remain proactive. Now, enough of the financial system. Let's talk about businesses for a second. Because one of the things that he said is that businesses and individuals have had to take some necessary steps to prevent a collapse, prevent bankruptcy. Certain individuals have not went and purchased medicine. I know Canada, they have a different healthcare system, but here in the United States, maybe you don't buy your medicine anymore. You ration your medication. Maybe you go as far as you don't eat on certain days because you have to save a little bit of money. You turn your heat or your AC off on certain days so that you can save a little bit extra money. You only shower a handful of times a week. Right? All these things matter. And then businesses. What are businesses doing? Well, just earlier today, I talked about how school districts around the United States are laying off employees in order to balance their budgets. They're laying off, and they could potentially lay off about over 300,000 teachers and staff members over the next handful of months. Just to end the school year, they could lay off over 300,000 people. That is just to balance their budgets. So when this governor, the Bank of Canada governor is coming out and saying that we just have to stay pretty much vigilant and be prepared, be ready for that, because things are already happening. The writing's on the wall. Steps are being made. But as all this stuff comes to a head, that is when we could see everything come crashing down. So all I can tell you is things are going to be very interesting. You need to be prepared now. Don't wait. Prepare now, because again, things could go from bad to worse in a hurry. So that's what I have for you guys today. Again, as always, thank you guys for watching. Consider subscribing, and I will see you guys on the next one.